Hi, you're welcome. My name is Ilokene Otiede, and I am a software engineer. You're welcome again to this session, and I'm excited to have you. And in this session, we'll be talking about something very interesting called imposter syndrome. Now, imposter syndrome as a software engineer. In this particular mentorship session, I want to talk about 10 strategies that you can use to battle and combat or overcome imposter syndrome. But first, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome as a software engineer is something that is a common challenge in the field of software engineering. And however, having it been a common challenge, it is also something that can be overcome when the right strategies are used or engaged. So I'm going to be discussing 10 of these strategies that have been proven and tested, reliable, especially in overcoming imposter syndrome. So the first tip that I will be sharing with you is acknowledging and understanding imposter syndrome. So in this or regarding acknowledging and understanding imposter syndrome, there is a need to recognize that imposter syndrome is common. You need to the individual needs to recognize that it is common and understand that many successful individuals, many successful software engineers, those senior engineers out there doing great things, have all felt the same way at some point in their careers. So you need to see it. The individual needs to see that feeling, right, as general, is normal. That feeling as though you're not good enough, you're not the one who just you can handle a particular project, you're not good enough for the particular opening, a particular role, a position, or just in general doubting your skills and even doubting some of the accomplishments that you have had, right? So understand that it's normal and you're not the only one. So if some successful software engineers out there have experienced imposter syndrome and they are successful, it therefore means that it is not enough to put you down. Now, the second strategy that we'll be looking at is talking about it. Talk about how you feel. Share your feelings with trustworthy colleagues, with mentors, or your friends. Yeah. Discuss. Now, the thing is, discussing your experience can help a lot with providing valuable perspective and support. So you will likely find that others have experienced similar feelings, and if they would be generous to share at the point where you are sharing your feelings, they will be able to let you know how they felt and how they navigated that feeling. Or they might still have that feeling, but they say when an individual knows he's not the only one in a sinking ship, there are more tendencies for the person to be a lot calmer than when he is alone, right? So, imposter syndrome is not a sinking ship. Very important to know that it is not a sinking ship, but having to relate with others and others relating with you and seeing that is a normal thing. At least my friend or my colleague or my mentor, with all these things and areas where they shine at, still have this feeling, it kind of helps to boost more confidence in oneself and also distract the attention from the feeling that imposter syndrome comes with. Now, the third tip or strategy will be documenting your achievements. Now, this is one that worked for me, and works a lot for others. Works a lot for me till now. Okay, now it is very important that you don't forget your accomplishments, your achievements, only for you to keep in mind and hold dear things that make you count yourself as a failure. If you have read one of my articles on my LinkedIn profile, I shared that failure is not as it is looked at most times, right? Rather, it just is a second opportunity, another opportunity to try again, this time with better experience, with better knowledge, with better skills, right? And become the latest winner. Okay, so documenting accomplishments helps to boost confidence in oneself, right? It helps you fill up the space of your abilities, your result proven abilities. I was able to build this, I was able to collaborate with this, I was able to complete this boot camp, I was able to complete this training, I was able to do this, I was able to achieve this. So it helps to remind you of your abilities and helps you fill up that space of your abilities and shine more in those strengths that have proven results, other than some other things that make you want to think you are weak, or some other things that the imposter syndrome feeling is throwing at you. And if you can shine more on your strength and your abilities that you've been able to accomplish results in, it's easier to now want to occupy more space, build yourself in areas where you have not really expressed or experienced so much strength. So here I want to encourage you to keep record of your accomplishments, your successful projects, and also positive feedbacks that you have received from people. Okay, so when you start to feel like an impostor, you start to feel like I can't do this, you start to feel like you can't do that, it wasn't you're not knowledgeable enough, you're not good enough, just try to review this documentation and remind yourself of your capabilities in your contributions, and it's going to help you come out of that feeling immediately. It has worked for me. It has worked for me. People shine a lot when they know who they are and their strengths. And there's a lot that you can achieve. There's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of potential inside of you when you start focusing on those achievements, those things that you are grateful for, those things that you are happy about, those things that you have accomplished, that you feel good about. When you focus on that, in another sense, it gives your mind a lot of stability to process things better. It takes one out of panic mode, it takes one out of confusions, right? Which all of these things come with imposter syndrome as well. All right, so the next one, another strategy that I'll be talking about with you, is setting realistic expectations. This is very important. Understand that it is okay not to know everything. Yeah, we have a lot of time ahead of us. We're living in a life in a world that existed before we came, right? And at some point you're just maximizing life, you're learning new things, exploring, being adventurous while you're living out your dreams and taking bold steps. So except you're as old as the earth, right? You should understand that you keep improving, you keep knowing, you keep getting better. There will always be opportunities to learn, relearn, underlearn, right? If there's a word like that, but just learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what I mean. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay. Now, another thing that you should also understand is that the tech industry is vast and is always evolving. Okay, it's always evolving. So set realistic expectations for yourself, and focus on continuous learning and improvements rather than a lot of the perfections that you might be focusing on that might just be stressing you out unnecessarily. Okay, just focus on continuous learning. Appreciate what you have gained per time. Appreciate your skill set per time, and never shy away from continuous learning. Never be on your comfort zone. Okay, keep learning. Understand that it's a learn. I'm still learning. I'll keep learning, keep improving, and I'm proud of who I have become. So the next we will be looking at is seeking feedback. Well, this strategy, in order to really engage this strategy, you will need to seek feedback from colleagues and superiors. Somehow, okay, let me put up an analogy here. When someone is getting dressed, there is one particular tool that is necessary amongst every other thing. Every other thing is necessary in the process of getting dressed, but there is one thing that gives the most assurance that they got it right with getting dressed. That is the mirror. What the mirror does is that it gives you feedback. You get feedback as to the result, the final result of what you have done, right? How you look, what you've been able to achieve with your looks in this particular session of getting dressed, isn't it? Good. Now, although feedbacks can come in different shades, they can be positive, they can be not so positive as per fitting into your expectations, they can be accurate, and they might not be always accurate. Okay, because the people you are seeking feedbacks from are also improving, and the person who gave a certain feedback today on a particular scenario might not give the same feedback some years to come, because now perceptions have changed, more understanding has been gained, and might just not see things the same or in the same light as they give that feedback. So that is one thing to understand when giving feedback, when receiving feedback, right? Good. Now, in terms of requesting feedback from colleagues, superiors, the with or overcoming imposter syndrome, it helps because positive feedback can help you reinforce your strengths, and also constructive criticism provides opportunity for growth. Okay, so that's it. So remember that everyone, regardless of experience, has areas of improvements. Okay, so that is what feedback can help you achieve. You can, okay, so this is my strength, okay, this is where I need to work on, right? So while all these feedbacks come in, understanding that feedbacks in themselves need to be criticized by you, need to be cross-checked by you, need to be re-evaluated by you, and not really thrown away, but need to be reconstructed. You know better what is in what you want, where you are heading to. You're reconstructed for some persons who are very emotional, reconstructed to be able to receive these feedbacks and adjustments, or use them as a tool to overcome imposter syndrome. Yeah, so this is what I have to say for now on requesting feedback as a strategy to overcoming imposter syndrome. Now, let's talk about celebrating success. This is also similar to, acknowledging your achievements and all that. Well, there is not much of importance or necessity placed on this one, but for people who would need and to go extra beyond documenting their achievements and now go into celebrating it in whatever capacity, right, for it to actually make a mark in their lives, then it is necessary. It is necessary. Okay, it is necessary. Now, the seventh one is to learn to say no. Okay, so it's crucial to recognize your limits. Don't overcommit yourself. Don't overcommit yourself, and be willing to say no when necessary. So setting realistic expectations for your workload can help you prevent burnout and that feeling of inadequacy. Okay, yeah, so learn to say no when you understand that, okay, I'm not prepared for this. Don't launch out into something that you don't feel capable of, to an extent that you're not ready for, because if it could lead to a feeling of inadequacy in the process, and that can just intensify the feeling of imposter syndrome other than overcoming imposter syndrome. Okay, so learn to say this is not for me. But well, it's not, in quotes, a general rule, because there are some, if you always go, just if you do not always stretch above your limits sometimes and take up some challenges, you might not really know that you've got the ability to do those great things at some point. So this is not all. This particular point of learning to say no comes in when an individual is so crowded with a feeling of imposter syndrome. It's too much, it's overwhelming. So at that, when it gets to that, then this person needs to recoil, set boundaries around commitments, and learn to really live in the state of strength. Okay, and not delve into things that will supposedly suggest inadequacy to that individual. Aside that, I also encourage pushing the limits. Yeah, push those limits. Push those limits. There's a lot that everyone has, and as we are exploring the world, we're also exploring ourselves. So push those limits. All right. The next one is continue learning. Of course, that moves to learning to, is a balance to learning to say no. So if you're the peak of imposter syndrome and you're setting your boundaries around your commitments, also learn, right? Keep learning, keep improving, be patient with yourself. And again, I must add, celebrate other people. That leads to the next point. Yeah, celebrate every other person's journey. Okay, be happy for others. Sometimes when it comes to self-comparison, right, it's also one of the back doors or entrances, very common to imposter syndrome as well. So understand that everyone's career path is unique, so comparing yourself to others can be very detrimental. So focus on your own progress and development rather than trying to match someone else's trajectory. Okay, focus on yours, be happy for who you are, and also appreciate others, other people's achievements. Okay, appreciate in the level you can at any point of your life. Appreciate as much as you can with your ability and emotional resources. So do all of those, right? It kind of opens one's mind to such achievements, tilting towards jealousy, still in the area of comparison. In a way, jealousy looks outwardly like a challenge, but it's really not a challenge. It has a way of closing the mind of, or the minds of individuals, or the mind of a person from achieving such. Yeah, it does. So you feel it's off your limits, this achievement by Mr. A or Mrs. B or Miss B, the software engineer. That software engineer is kind of off your limit at the moment, but you like it. You wish one day you will celebrate such achievement. Just be happy. Ask questions. Go close. Ask questions. Ask for counsel. Do just kind of appreciate it, because you wish that one day this achievement will also be on your achievement board. Okay, so do all this open-mindedly, that you found someone who has achieved this. Oh, I would also love to achieve this as well in my life, in my career path. So therefore, wow, can I acquaint with you? Can I be close? Especially because of these achievements. Around this achievement, can I learn some more? Okay, can I learn some more? Can I get some more improvements? Any tip, support, right? That's how to appreciate something you would really like, especially for some in an area or something you're not good at. Again, in the confinement of your emotional resources. You might not do that immediately. You could just note it down. This person, this software engineer, that software engineer achieved this and achieved that, and you could just take your time, right, until you have enough emotional resources, or you want to go for that at the moment. Then you can now reach out to them. Okay, so it depends on the individual, their personality types, and their emotional resources and strength. Okay, so the last here is participating in imposter syndrome workshops and counseling. Like this ones will help you. Well, please participate in things that would motivate you, make you feel more special about yourself. Communicate, okay? Communicate, speak about it. Be sure of yourself. Internalize your achievements. Be happy for others, expressively or internally, or both. Do that, and it encourages one to go for that as well. And lastly, I would want to say, always expect that other people, other software engineers are happy with your own achievements. Even when in your workplace there are some toxicity around your achievements, making you feel inadequate, don't embrace the thoughts. Rather, look at those areas that those toxicity are coming from. Put boundaries when necessary. Be strong. Uphold yourself as competent. Approach every criticism professionally, checking with facts, and always telling yourself, everybody is happy with my achievement. Everybody is happy with my achievement. Nobody is coming against my achievement. Now, this is one way, right? Of course, it's not entirely true, but it's better to rest one's mind on that than the other way. Because when you think other people have their eyes on you negatively because of these achievements you've had in your career path, it might lead to unnecessary pressure to prove yourself, unhealthy, unnecessarily pressure, a lot of unnecessary pressure to do a lot of no. Everybody's happy with me. Everybody's happy with my achievements in my place of work, in my network, right? Even when you see those signs, don't receive them. Look for measures around, okay? Don't accept the fact that it's coming from a place of jealousy or hatred. Just understand, she might be in a bad mood. She might not be in a good mood. She might just need some changes here and there. Or she might just need some distance, right? Or she might just need some help. Let me reach out to her. I think I have some time around my schedule this moment. Let me just reach out. You need some help. Sometimes communication with those from people with who are sending such energies just kills it all. But still, with the confinement of your emotional resources, I keep stressing this because when you don't have enough emotional resources for some things, it ends up in a way that is not appealing. You might just, some individuals just lose themselves, lose coordination. And when an individual loses coordination in a relationship, things like rudeness, they start being rude, right? They begin to have negative comebacks, what they call familiarity, excessive familiarity, right? But they can start bringing up disrespects, crossing boundaries, not staying within the principle of communication, of association, take things for granted. When individuals get to that, just understand that they have exhausted their emotional strength and they're just afloat. They just want to remain in the association and they're just afloat. You're not conscious. So when that emotional strength or resources is out, consciousness is out of it, and then they start behaving in ways that they wish they never would have behaved in. And when they have time to reflect back at their attitudes, they feel like, okay, this association should have never been, and they want to retrace their steps. And then it leads to a lot of things. But when handled well, both from the receiver and the giver, the association can continue after some space, and when everyone has regained emotional strength and better understanding of things. Understanding also that we associate based on certain reasons, both professional, non-professional, and just mutual likeness. Okay, so that's all I have for us on battling imposter syndrome. Thank you to everyone watching this, especially to my mentees. It's an honor to be a mentor to you, and I will always put out my best to ensuring that I give all that I can to ensure that you are getting value for the mentorship program that you have signed up for. I am Elugene Ochiede, your favorite software engineer, and I'll see you again. Thank you.